Normally on the weekends, you really don't see a lot of stories that deserve to really be addressed. But I get up early on Saturday mornings and try to scan most of the news channels. Honestly, I can't say most because I really try not to look at Fox News. But anyway, I got up this morning and just happened to come across Alex Witt doing various stories, and I'm gonna play the section of her interviewing Gregory Meeks, Democratic representative out of New York. This guy is a slick talking New Yorker, and is one of the reasons why New Yorkers get bad names as far as trying to slick talk people. Anyway, I'm going to play this segment, and then I'm going to come back with my commentary.
This week for Hillary Clinton, the Congressional Black Caucus PAC is backing Secretary Clinton. That PAC is the political arm of the CBC. And New York Democrat Congressman Gregory Meeks is the PAC's chair, and he joins me right now. It's always good to see you. Thank you so much. Big question to you. Why Mrs. Clinton over Senator Sanders?
Well, first, when you think about the Secretary of State, former Secretary of State Clinton, she has been a partner with members of the Congressional Black Caucus for a long time in fighting racism, in creating and helping Democrats get elected, which is extremely important because that means members of the Congressional Black Caucus, as well as others, can put the agenda, that the economic agenda that is extremely important to help individuals move up. And Bernie Sanders has simply not led on those issues. And Senator Clinton has been a partner with us in getting that done, not just when she was running, but whether it was as First Lady, whether it was as the Senator from New York, or and then what she was doing as Secretary of State.
So interestingly, Harry Belafonte, who has endorsed Bernie Sanders, he defended the senator on civil rights in an interview with MSNBC yesterday. Here's part of what he said. Let's take a listen.
There's been an attack on Bernie Sanders for not being visible in the civil rights movement. Well, there were a lot of people involved in the civil rights movement. Millions of them came to the March on Washington. I don't remember the names of most of them. I've met with him, I've talked with him. He's not misleading. He didn't claim to be a leader of the civil rights movement. He said he was deeply touched by it and involved in it.
And we should say that was on All In, rather, with Chris Hayes last night. How's the criticism of Bernie Sanders' civil rights record, some of which has come from one and only, the Representative John Lewis, how's that been unfair?
Look, I'm not attacking, and I don't think what John Lewis was saying was attacking Senator Sanders. What he was saying was that if he was leading the movement, he didn't see him. He was part of the movement. He didn't see them as a leader. I think what we have is there's a difference. What the CBC sees, there's a difference between racism and classism. And in the world of Bernie Sanders, he thinks of class first. But you can look, Barack Obama is the president of the United States. He's in a different class, but still faces racism. And so if you're talking about issues of dealing with race, in that regards, you can't say that Bernie Sanders was there. He sees that the be-all and end-all is one thing, and that probably is class. But, racism is different, no matter what your category. I was proud of those young people that you had on earlier, and proud that they are all involved, whether they're supporting Bernie or Hillary or anybody, being part of the process. But here you have college, well-educated kids, and the young black woman. It shouldn't have been a question with class with her, because it wasn't her class, but it was her race that was a problem, irrespective of her class. And I think that's what members of the Congressional Black Caucus also tried to address on a continuous basis.
Now, I want to clear up something, though. The question between the PAC of the CBC and the CBC membership, because as you know, Representative Congressman Keith Ellison tweeted, obviously from New York on Thursday, that the Congressional Black Caucus has not endorsed in the presidential race, that it's separate. The CBC PAC is endorsed, but did not get input from the CBC membership. Can you clear that up?
Yes. The Congressional Black Caucus consists of Democrats and Republicans. Mia Love who's a Republican, is a part of the Congressional Black Caucus. The Congressional Black Caucus does not get involved in politics, just policy. The Congressional Black Caucus's PAC is an independent wing that does political actions, the Political Action Committee. It has a 20-member board that moves forward, and they do take into consideration by talking to colleagues, etc., who are not part of the PAC but are part of the CBC. So as a result, you have 40 members of the CBC who individually have endorsed Hillary Clinton. And the PAC takes that into consideration. So you have a board that runs the PAC, but it's so, and we've endorsed, because we're the political wing, but you also have 40 members of the CBC who individually has endorsed Hillary Clinton. The only one that has endorsed Mr. Sanders is my good friend from Minnesota.
Can I ask you very quickly, with regard to the battle over the record of President Obama, how's that affecting the Democrats? I mean, between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, is that an effective argument?
Well, I don't think that there is a question about the great record and history will record of President Obama. You know, I would hope Senator Sanders, who has been critical throughout of President Obama, you know, just looking at some of the statements, but when you look at where we were in 2008, when this country truly was on the brink of being set back tremendously, the president has led us from losing 700,000 jobs a month to creating 200,000 jobs a month. There's been consistent months of growth. We're not where we want to be yet, but not to acknowledge that this president has done a tremendous job. The question is, you know, I would ask someone, you talk about health care, do you want, you know, everybody would have loved single payer, but do you do single payer and get nothing? Well, you know, is that your position? This president did something that presidents were trying to do for years, for decades. 30 million Americans now have health care who would not have had it but for him.
And that is a perfect tee up for my next segment. But before that, I want to thank you so much, Representative Gregory Meeks. It's always good to see you. Thank you.
Gregory Meeks is a goddamn motherfucking asshole. Okay, he is disingenuous as hell. Okay, first of all, can anybody tell me exactly what Hillary Clinton has done before she decided to run for president to fight racism? Anybody, you know, leave your comment. Tell me what she's done to fight racism. Okay? Yeah, she helped Democrats, not just any old Democrats, but all Democrats, basically, to get reelected. But he did not specifically say that she helped black Democrats to get elected. So I want to know all these black Democrats, and yeah, she probably did help some, but I want to know all of these black Democrats that she helped, because I'm willing to bet you that all those people that were standing in there behind Meeks at the time, those were the ones that she helped. Now, please tell me what the economic agenda was that she helped to promote that helped black people. Anybody? Please tell me, because I don't recall a single damn thing that she's done, okay, that basically have helped black people, particularly after 2008 when we had the crash. And I want to, and to go further, I want to know what he did, because as far as I know, black people still have not recovered from the economic crash. Now, let's get specific. What exactly did she do as Senator Clinton to help black people? Nobody seems to be able to come up with any specifics on that one. Now, he made mention of all the great things she did as First Lady. Well, let me tell you this. I can tell you 2 or 3 things that she did as First Lady. And one of them was to push the crime bill that helped to incarcerate a tremendous number of black people to the benefit of the prison industrial complex. And she definitely has promoted paid prisons. Those are 2 things that she did. She also pushed the welfare reform bill, okay, that basically threw a bunch of people off of any assistance that they had, and that had an extraordinary effect on a large number of black families. So those are two things she's done. One of the other things she did was to call our babies, our young black boys and girls that had issues, super predators. Okay, so those are three things that she's done. So now, somebody let me know all of the good things that she did. And then he made mention of the work she did for us as a Secretary of State. Please let me know how she supported black people in this country as Secretary of State. Now, let's move on to John Lewis. This fool had the nerve to say that John Lewis did not attack Bernie Sanders, and that is bullshit. He seemed to try to intimate that John Lewis said that Bernie Sanders called himself a leader. That is a goddamn lie. Bernie Sanders has never called himself a leader in the black struggle. He did say that he participated, and there is a big difference. Harry Belafonte called his ass out on that, and Harry said that, and everybody knows Harry was involved in it, but Harry said he met thousands of people and he couldn't tell you their names. John Lewis is full of shit, because if he had not met Bernie Sanders, he damn sure didn't meet Hillary Clinton, because she was a Goldwater Republican during the time of struggle. So that was a goddamn lie right there. You know, it just kills me. Now let's talk about isms. Meek said that Bernie Sanders really wasn't interested in racism. He was interested in classism. Well, guess what? Racism to blacks is classism to whites. That's what it is. So all of these motherfuckers in the CBC PAC, quote unquote, these guys all have their bread being buttered by various special interest groups. And a bunch of them, and I don't know the exact number, but it's been indicated that a bunch of them are already dealing with special interest groups and lobbying for special interest groups. So the CBC PAC is the action arm of the CBC. And that would lead people to believe that it was the CBC that endorsed Hillary Clinton, and that's a lie. Now, these guys never even gave Bernie Sanders a hearing. He scheduled a meeting with the CBC, and only 2 members show up. So now you tell me if they weren't already in the damn bag for Hillary Clinton. You know, you make that particular call. Now let's talk about President Obama and Hillary Clinton basically hugging this man so tight that Michelle wanted to slap her for basically having sex with her husband. Bernie Sanders has disagreed with President Obama. But guess what? A lot of regular people disagree with President Obama. What the hell has President Obama done specifically for the black community? He has not done a goddamn thing. We all voted for him on the hope and change premise, and now that we got a black president in there, that maybe, you know, something was going to be done for us. Little did we know that the Republicans were having a meeting where they said they weren't going to let this man put through shit. Now, he got lucky because he did have a Democratic controlled Congress, Democratic House and a Democratic Senate, and the Senate, he had basically a supermajority, so he could get stuff through. So he decides that he's going to do something for the entire country, i.e. healthcare, and basically fuck everybody else. He got nothing done for the black community, zippo. So yeah, the whites basically have had a lot of recovery, and I'm not going to say they've completely recovered, because guess what? Middle class and the poor have not recovered from 2008. But if you want to compare their recovery to the black community's recovery, where we basically lost 50% of our wealth, which got wiped out because of the housing crisis and the banks basically screwing us, there's no comparison. So for this man to get up there and be as disingenuous as he is, claiming that Hillary Clinton is the best thing since sliced bread, and that Bernie Sanders basically is null and void, that's a bunch of bullshit. Now, could Bernie Sanders go further? Yeah, absolutely. And there's no question about that. But in my opinion, he's gone a lot further than Hillary Clinton. And the one thing about Bernie that nobody can disagree on is he has not changed in 30 years for what he fights for. And everybody knows Clinton has flip-flopped like a goddamn beach seal. Any which way the wind is blowing, that's the way that Hillary Clinton is blowing. So in my opinion, I don't even see how she's running as a Democrat. She's more of a moderate Republican than anything else. But you guys, make your own call. But as far as I'm concerned, Gregory Meeks is a goddamn coon in the pocket of Hillary Clinton.